Bonjour, hello, kwe. My name is Eric from Air Canada. I want to wish you all a very happy Pride. Air Canada is happy to present the next show, Cooking with Kiki. Bonjour, ici Eric d'Air Canada. Je vous souhaite une très joyeuse fierté et je suis très fier de présenter au nom d'Air Canada le prochain spectacle, Cuisinons avec Kiki. Over to you, Kiki.
Happy Pride, Ottawa, and welcome to Cooking with Kiki. So today we have a very special guest coming from Tulip Restaurant as a chef. His name is David Vinoya. Come over here. David, why don't you tell us about this dish that we're cooking today?
Sure. So today's we call it like the local. So every week we do have a special from local market. So for now, you guys like the first one to see. And this week we call it like a crispy pork hocks, and in Tagalog we call it like the crispy pata. So pretty much like we inherit this one into Spanish era, and then we kind of like immerse that delicacy. So I have my own versions of it, so you will probably see it looks like. I'm so excited.
Yes, and this dish is perfect for summer because this dish is intended to be shared with family. So I can wait and start cooking.
Yay.
Shall we?
Yes.
Yes, let's get cooking with Kiki. Before we start, I would like to present to you the ingredients that we will be using boiling the pork hock. So first off, we have juniper berries, this is very perfumey and it gives a good flavor on whatever you're cooking. Perfect. And the next we have peppercorn. So peppercorn is one of the main ingredients in anything that you're cooking. It's a food enhancer. It gives a little bit of heat to it, but not too much, bearable. And then this one, we have star anise. Star anise is another perfumey spice that you need to be very careful of using because it is very powerful. The next one we have is bay leaf. Bay leaf is a leaf. Funny. This is actually used a lot in a Filipino dish. We put it in almost everything. And of course, to have the sweet and salty combination or balance in your cooking, we always have salt and sugar. So now, as you can see, the oil from the spices now is coming out, and that's the reason why we need to roast it first to get out all of that flavor. So now that it's ready and it's all toasted, so what's next, Chef David?
So now we're putting the hot water in it. So I'll take
Okay.
a dip, so it's like quite hot.
Step hot,
like
okay.
you. There you have it.
Perfect. And now we put our seasoning, first our salt,
Sweet.
and a little bit of sweetness to balance it out with white sugar. So our next step is we're gonna bring the water with spices and seasoning to boil. But before that, what are we gonna do with the pork hock, Chef?
So while we wait for that to boil, so now you're gonna stub the pork hocks using your fork.
Yeah, do it very carefully and very sexy like this. You point it and you press it. You point it and you press it. And then you go da 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 da. And the reason why we do that is for the flavor to go inside the meat.
That's correct.
And like the skin, oh yeah, it's very satisfying. So make sure that you get your pork hock from a local supplier.
That's
because
correct.
that's why we're here is we support our local.
We-
So when you hold a raw material, make sure that you change your gloves for sanitary purposes. You don't want to do cross-contamination because that's the last thing that we want to do. Okay, so let's do that now. So the water is about to boil, and we're gonna put
Gently.
the pork hock gently after being rough with it. While we're waiting for the pork hock to be cooked, so David, give me a little bit of background about you, like where you come from, what school you go to, how long you've been doing drag. No, just kidding. How long you been doing, cooking and all that? Yeah.
Yeah. So Well, I really wanted to become a nurse before because back in the Philippines, all your parents wanted to be, you as a
Correct.
nurse. But I do love that. It's because the way they dress up, it's so nice and clean. So I was just like, one day want to be like a nurse. But I ended up like doing this.
Yeah.
Because of my auntie, she actually a pastry chef back in the Philippines,
Oh,
and
wow.
she encouraged me to do the culinary. And then after that, after I graduated back in the Philippines, I ended up like applying in Canada as an immigrant and also a foreign worker.
Okay.
And through that process, I kind of like seeing the diverse food here in Canada and also seeing those different cultures and also lots of dishes and nationalities. It was just like amazed me. So through that process, I learned a lot. So I used that knowledge here and created my own stuff, or I would say my own dish.
So I just want to let everyone know that Tulip Restaurant is located at 361 Queen Street.
In actually hotel, which is Hilton Garden Inn and Homewood Suites by Hilton, all the way downtown.
His food is always inspired by our culture, and he always elevate it and put it in a different level.
Thank you so much. So now boiling down for about like 3 to 5 hours in a low heat so that it gives like little and gently flavor inside. And after that, I do have a finished product to show
Okay.
to you how it looks like.
Hi, I'm Ben Dover. Outside of drag, I was introverted. I never felt that I belonged anywhere. Never girly enough to be quote unquote one of the girls. Never masculine enough to be quote unquote one of the guys. Being Ben has allowed me to mix both my female personnel outside of drag with the masculinity of Ben in drag. Ben is not afraid. Ben can do whatever he wants to do. Ben is confident. Ben is suave. Ben is everything that I wish I was outside of drag. And since becoming him, that's how it is. I am more confident. I am not an introvert. And I finally feel that I am who I'm supposed to be. That I can be feminine outside of drag and masculine when I'm in drag, and I finally feel like I belong somewhere. And that's here, with you.
Okay. So after boiling it, this is how it looks like.
And deep fry.
We're gonna deep fry it to make it really crispy. Make sure that your meat is refrigerated and cooled down before you deep fried it.
And at the same time, addition to that, we're trying to do at least like your meat should be dry. Because if it's not dry, technically oil and water, it will be no good and they're totally not in love together.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
make sure that your meat is very dry. I know sometimes our meat, we like it moist and wet, but at this point, we need it dry.
That's so
Yeah,
true.
Perfect.
There you go.
So now again, you gotta put it in the boiling oil at 350 Fahrenheit, not lower than that, not higher than that. Make sure it's not too high because your meat will be burnt outside but not hot inside.
That's
So
correct.
now let's dunk in.
That's so true.
Oh, there you go.
And then now, just to make it sure, I mean, be careful also that we wanted to cover up because sometimes like the skin there starts to, pop up and, it's just sometimes like the oil itself splashes you. So
Splashes, yeah.
Yeah, might as well to be more secure,
Yeah.
safe. I would just rather to use any kind of lid that you have in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So-
And the reason why too that it does that because the oil is very hot and there is still some moisture from the inside of the meat. And when you're cooking something, that moisture comes out. And you can hear that.
Yeah.
It's popping. And that's the skin of the pork. That is a good sign when it does that, because that means the outside of the pork is getting crispy and it's popping. You know what I mean? When you hear that like bloop, 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 that means the oil is doing its job. Okay.
Yeah. So while we wait for that, pork hocks to be cooked, we're gonna start also the side condiments and all of it in the sauces as well.
Take it all in. Show up early. Stay late. Really late. Live your passion. Leave an impression. Commit. Get out. Get in. Embrace the moment. Hold. 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 Ah. Overdo it. Do more. Leave less. Breathe. Get the bag. Keep one packed. Don't put it off. Because when we make it count, we rise higher.
Okay, so right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start building the plate. So right now we have, what is this, Chef David?
That's actually we call it like a chili secret sauce, but you can also get it from other stores. You can get hoisin sauce or teriyaki sauce, whatever like you wanted. So my suggestion to you guys, if you wanted to do a little bit of a crispy pork, like a combinations for a sauce, I recommend the hoisin sauce. It's because it gives like the combinations between the acidity and sweetness and everything, plus the Asian spices too. So
Perfect.
that's my
Yes.
recommendation.
And this one is everyone's favorite.
Wee!
This is a sriracha sauce.
Yes.
And then we have pickled onion for some acidity, and pickled cucumber. And we have crispy onion for some texture, and of course, who doesn't like onion? Everybody loves onion, right?
For garnishing, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and for some freshness, we have a fresh mint, because it's summer. You want to put a little touch of freshness to it. And for some texture and amazing flavor, we have a crispy onion. This is called rolling. Okay, so now that we're done deep frying the pork and it smells so good, and look at that crispiness, the bubble around the pork, that means it's really crispy. So we're gonna put it in the middle of the plate where we're presenting it.
Soy.
Sweet soy.
So pretty much I would say the sweet soy is soy sauce with a bunch of sugar plus additional secret ingredients that we actually put in.
Secret ingredient.
That's true.
The tulip secret. And then we have the sriracha sauce for some heat. And for some acidity, we have pickled red onion and pickled cucumber. So what we have here is our vehicle for this dish, which is a steam bao. Steam bao is made of flour, baking powder,
And also
and oil. What else? Milk powder, a little bit of sugar,
and salt.
and salt. It's very simple.
Simple.
Search it in Google or somewhere. You'll find it anywhere.
Or they can also bought it from the store. So any Asian stores, they have those ones. So
Yeah, they have it ready made like this. The only thing you have to do is steam it.
yes.
So now let's place it nicely on the big platter right here.
Yep.
So this is everything. Presentation about the food. You make sure that the color is balanced. You don't put two greens together beside each other. You want to mix it up so you can have a contrast on the plate. So this is how David and his team played it. So David, help me with the rest.
Sure. So
Perfect.
what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put this red and the other side, and you do the other
Okay.
side. Okay. So pretty much like what we usually do in the kitchen. You can just like use this bowl and then dump it in there because it's it's two tips, so
Yes.
it's easy. And then all you have to do is just to build a little height right
Yeah.
beside it.
Yeah.
It's just a nice,
Nice presentation.
Presentation.
Like having a nice presentation is very important because once you get your food on the table, the first thing that you use of your sense is your eye. You don't only eat with your mouth, but you also eat with your eyes.
That is so true.
Perfect.
Yes.
There you go.
And then before we put the sauces, now we're putting the garnish. So I would recommend you to sprinkle this with love on top of it.
Oh, sprinkle it with love.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you how you sprinkle crispy onion
Oh, salt bag. I would say.
with love. Are you ready for this? Let's do this. Sprinkle some love. Yeah. All over. My God, look at that. That's so good.
And then
Perfect.
now the mince, all you have to do is just the hand cut of it.
Oh, hand cut.
Yeah.
So actually this is better because when you hand cut any kind of herb, especially fresh, you squeeze the oil out of the leaves and you smell it and you taste it better instead of
so
using a
true.
knife.
Oh my God, I'm so impressed.
Right?
You don't know. You just like knows everything. That's pretty cool. Side.
So the sauce is we're just gonna put it on the side and
there you go.
voila. Thank you once again, David Vinoya, for having us.
Yes,
And thank you
my pleasure.
for letting us use your facilities to be here. And by the way, before we end this, I just wanna recognize that David Vinoya was once the winner of Gold Medal Play 2017.
Aw, thank you.
And to be included in this competition is a big honor already.
That's true,
And then
that's
winning
true.
it too, it's even bigger. So congratulations.
Thank you,
And
thank
thank
you.
you for having us again here.
Thank you.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. The cooking session with Kiki with David Vinoya.
Thank you.
Once again, I want to thank David for having us here at the Tulip Restaurant located at 361 Queen Street by Hilton Garden Inn. And make sure that if you need any accommodation, Hilton is always there for you to accommodate you. Thank you, Capital Pride, to making this happen and making it possible for me to have my own Cooking with Kiki segment. Thank you and happy Pride.
Bye.